This isn't a story about a group that could be global. It's an audit of a group that already is. While the world debates who the next big thing will be, SB19 has been quietly dropping receipts that prove they are a definitive global force. From topping Billboard charts to winning fan-voted awards against music's biggest names, the evidence is undeniable. In this video, we're not dealing with hype. We're presenting the facts that show why SB19 isn't just a P-pop group. They are a powerhouse in the global music market. For years, the music industry has looked at the Philippines, a country with one of the most passionate and online populations on Earth, and asked, who's going to be the one to break through? They were looking for a sign, or proof that it could be done. They needed a group that could not only capture the heart of a nation, but also had the discipline, quality, and appeal to compete on the world's biggest stages. And while they were looking, that group was training. They were grinding through grueling 9-hour daily sessions, pushing past exhaustion and doubt. They were 5 young men from the Philippines, staring down a system that had almost never produced a global pop contender. This is the story of how that group, SB19, stopped being the question and became the answer. To really get the scale of SB19's success, you have to understand the world they came from. Before them, the term P-pop or Pinoy pop barely made a ripple on a global scale. The local music scene was alive and well, but it was mostly for a domestic audience. The idea of a Filipino group standing shoulder to shoulder with international giants felt like a fantasy. There was no roadmap, no blueprint. This was the world Pablo, Josh, Stel, Ken, and Justin stepped into. Brought together by a Korean entertainment company, SB19, they were put through the infamous K-pop training system. It was a crucible designed to forge diamonds, but it nearly shattered them. They dealt with public skepticism, financial struggles, and the crushing weight of trying to be first. There's a now famous story from their early days where, in a moment of utter desperation, they were eating instant noodles cooked with water from a fire extinguisher because they had nothing else. It sounds like a legend, but it was their reality. That was ground zero. Their debut single, Tilaluha, came out in 2018 to a deafening silence. The dream felt impossibly far. The group was literally on the verge of quitting. Bags were packed. Goodbyes were said. They decided to give it one last shot, to pour every last drop of hope and energy they had into one more song, one more performance. The stakes were no longer just about their careers. It was about proving that a group of Filipino boys could make it on their own terms, that their talent was worthy of the world's attention. It was one final desperate bet, not just for themselves, but for the future of an entire genre. If you want to pinpoint the exact moment the ground shifted for the Philippine music industry, it was the release of a simple dance practice video for this song. Go Up was their do-or-die anthem, a track literally about their struggle and their dream to rise above it. The choreography was razor-sharp. The vocals were flawless, but it was the raw, desperate hunger in their performance that connected with people. The video, uploaded without any big marketing push, slowly started making the rounds on social media. A fan posted a clip on Twitter. It got some attention, and then it exploded. It was a true grassroots phenomenon. A fire started not by a huge budget, but by the sheer, undeniable talent on screen. People saw the synchronicity, the passion, the world-class performance, and asked, who are these guys? The video went viral, crossing borders and oceans. It landed on the radar of international fans and critics, who were floored to find out this polished group wasn't from a market with decades of idol-making infrastructure, but from the Philippines. Go Up was more than a viral hit. It was validation. It proved the audience was ready and waiting. The song's viral success in 2019 led them to be named the favorite breakthrough artist of the year at the 2020 AWIT Awards, a sign that the local industry was finally paying attention. It was the turning point that didn't just save their career, it ignited the modern PPop revolution. It was the first receipt, the first piece of hard proof that something special was happening. From that point on, SB19 wasn't just surviving, they were building an empire. And the receipts just kept on coming. When you talk about global impact, the conversation always leads to one name: Billboard. The Billboard charts are the universal scoreboard for the music industry. For decades, it was a mountain Filipino artists had only dreamed of summiting. Then SB19 showed up, and they didn't just climb it, they planted a flag. Let's be crystal clear, this isn't about some niche chart or a one-off mention. This is about sustained historic dominance on some of the world's most competitive rankings. The first major shockwave hit in 2021. SB19 became the first Filipino and Southeast Asian act ever to be nominated for a Billboard Music Award. The category was Top Social Artist. Their competition? A list of global titans: BTS, Blackpink, Ariana Grande, and 17. Let that sink in. A group that was about to disband just a couple of years earlier was now named alongside the biggest musical acts on the planet. This nomination wasn't from a fan vote. It was based on cold, hard data. It was Billboard itself confirming that SB19's global engagement was on par with the world's elite. But they didn't stop there. They aimed for the sales charts. In 2023, their viral hit Gento debuted at number 8 on Billboard's World Digital Song Sales Chart. This wasn't just a win, it was proof of concept. It proved SB19 could turn buzz into actual, measurable sales in the US market. Then they did it again, but bigger. In early 2025, their single Damn didn't just debut on the World Digital Song Sales Chart. It shot straight to number 1. This was an unprecedented victory. SB19 became the first Filipino artist to ever top that chart, signaling to the global industry that their success was not a fluke. Forbes magazine even ran headlines like SB19 charts a number 1 hit in America. Soon after, their follow-up single, Donka, also debuted in the top 10, giving them 2 concurrent hits on a major Billboard chart and claiming 20% of the entire ranking in a single week. Their EP, Simula at Wakas, made history in one of the toughest music markets in the world, Japan. It debuted at number 17 on Billboard Japan's top album sales chart and number 14 on the Oricon charts, making SB19 the first and only Filipino group to ever achieve this. These aren't vanity metrics. They are receipts, printed on the official ledgers of the global music industry, proving SB19 can chart and sell, not just at home, but around the world. In today's music world, an artist's power is measured by the loyalty and mobilization of their fan base. A dedicated fandom is a weapon, a force that can dominate global platforms. And in this arena, SB19's fan base, the A-Team, are in a class of their own. The ultimate showdown for fan bases is the Billboard Fan Army Face-Off. It's a global tournament, pitting the world's most powerful fandoms against each other in a months-long voting war. In 2023, A-Team went head-to-head with some of the most established fan armies on the planet. In a jaw-dropping display of organization, they defeated the massive fandom of K-pop powerhouse 17 to win the title. Many dismissed it as a one-time wonder. They were wrong. In 2024, A-Team came back to defend their title. The bracket included 64 of the world's biggest artists, including Taylor Swift, Rihanna, Cardi B, and Dua Lipa. One by one, A-Team mobilized, outvoting fandoms with enormous global reach. For the second year in a row, they won the Billboard Fan Army Face-Off. This wasn't a local contest. This was a global declaration. proving A10 is one of the most organized and powerful fan armies in the world. Their power is felt across platforms. At the 2024 Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards, SB19 won Favorite Asian Act, another fan-voted international award that shows their broad appeal. This consistent ability to win global fan-voted contests is a massive receipt. It tells executives, brands, and promoters that when you work with SB19, you get an instant, hyper-engaged global marketing team. A10 aren't just fans. They are active partners in SB19's mission to bring Filipino music to the world, and they execute with precision. That level of fan engagement is priceless. It's not just a group with fans, it's a movement with an army. A digital presence is one thing, but the real test of a global act is putting butts in seats around the world. Can you turn online hype into ticket sales? Can you create a live show so powerful it breaks through language barriers? On this front, SB19's receipts are printed on sold-out venue banners across continents. They didn't just test the waters of the international market, they launched full-scale tours. Their world tours, from Pagtatag to 2025's Simula at Wakas, have been masterclasses in market penetration, with stops across North America, Asia, and the Middle East. These aren't just one-off festival gigs. These are their own headline shows in major international cities, from Dubai to Tokyo to Los Angeles. The scale is incredible. For the Simula at Wakas tour, they announced an 18-city itinerary hitting hubs like Singapore, Hong Kong, and Sydney, with multiple dates in Canada and the United States. And they're not playing clubs. The Dubai show, for instance, was at the Coca-Cola Arena, a major international venue. This shows a level of demand and logistical skill that rivals established global touring acts. But the most powerful statement of their live dominance happened at home. To kick off their 2025 World Tour, SB19 did something no Filipino boy group had ever done. They staged a solo show at the Philippine Arena, the world's largest indoor arena. And then, they sold it out for 2 consecutive nights. Just let that sink in. An arena with a capacity of over 55,000 people, filled to the rafters with their fans, 2 nights in a row. That is a feat many international superstars would struggle to pull off. After seeing the show, legendary Filipino artist Gary Valenciano was practically speechless. He said the concert surpassed all expectations, calling the group remarkable and outstanding, and praising how they poured their heart and soul into the performance. This wasn't just a concert. It was a coronation. Selling out arenas in North America, the Middle East, and Asia isn't a sign of a group with potential. It's the sign of a group that has already arrived. The empty seats that haunted their early days have been replaced by sold-out stadiums across the globe. That is the ultimate receipt. Let's talk numbers, because the numbers don't lie. An artist's kingdom is built on data, and SB19's digital empire is vast and undeniable. First, the currency of modern music: streams. As of January 2026, SB19 officially flew past 1 billion streams on Spotify across all their songs. 1 billion. This is a milestone that puts them in a rare class of globally established acts. The World Music Awards even took notice, congratulating them on becoming the most streamed Philippine boy band in Spotify history. This isn't just a number. It's a measure of how deeply their music has penetrated the culture, representing countless hours of their songs playing in homes, cars, and headphones from Quezon City to Los Angeles. Then there was the Gento phenomenon. Gento wasn't just a song, it was a cultural export. Its unique mix of Filipino wordplay and complex choreography was the perfect recipe for viral success. The dance challenge swept the internet, but the real story is who was doing it. It wasn't just fans. K-pop idols from top groups like Enhypen, Gravity, and Zerobasione started posting their own takes on the challenge. At the Asia Artist Awards, Japanese group and team even performed Gento on stage with SB19. When artists from the dominant K-pop industry start jumping on a trend created by a PPop group, it signals a massive cultural shift. It's a receipt that proves SB19 isn't just following trends, they're starting them. This digital power is consistently reflected in charts that measure online influence. As early as 2020, they became the only Filipino artist to rank on Billboard's Top Social 50 Artists chart. That same year, they became the first Southeast Asian act to break into the top 10 of Billboard's year-end Social 50 chart, landing at number 6. This shows a consistent, year-over-year power to command the global conversation at an elite level. Their digital footprint isn't just large, it's influential. Maybe the most important receipt proving SB19's global status isn't just about what they've done, but how they've done it. In a bold and brilliant move, SB19 took control of their own careers. They left their original management and founded their own company, 1Z Entertainment. This cannot be overstated. The members of SB19 are not just performers, they are executives. Pablo is the CEO. They are a self-managed group with full creative and financial control over their music, their image, and their future. Moving from talent to owner is the ultimate power play. It allows them to operate with a level of authenticity that's incredibly rare in the pop world. As Pablo explained, their mission is to hone breakthrough artists and challenge industry norms. They're not just building a band, they're building an entire ecosystem with plans to train and launch the next generation of Filipino talent. That kind of artistic integrity and business sense has earned them respect from the highest levels of the music world. In August 2024, they were honored in Seoul, South Korea, at the Billboard K-Power 100 event. Alongside fellow P-pop group ByNe, they received the prestigious Voices of Asia Award from Billboard Korea. This wasn't a local award. This was a major international music authority in the heart of the Asian pop industry, formally recognizing SB19's contribution to the global music scene. During his speech, Josh made their mission clear. This milestone belongs not just to us, but to the entire P-pop movement. The endorsements from their own country's legends sealed the deal. The iconic Gary Valenciano, Mr. Pure Energy, described SB19 and ByNe as the headlights of OPM. He said, "Where is music going? Just follow where those headlights are going." That is a profound statement from an industry pillar, framing SB19 not as a fad, but as the very vehicle lighting the path for an entire nation's musical future. From owning their company to being honored by Billboard in Korea, these receipts show a level of industry respect and strategic control that is almost unheard of. They are the architects of their own success, proving they aren't just artists, but a formidable business and cultural force. So, we've laid out the receipts, the chart toppers, the sold-out world tours, the billion-plus streams, the unstoppable fan army, and the industry-shaking move to self-management. But why does any of this matter? It matters because it proves SB19 isn't just another successful boy band. They represent a paradigm shift in the global music industry. For decades, the path to global success was thought to require validation from the West first. You needed a major US or UK label to be taken seriously. SB19 completely shattered that formula. They built their power independently. They grew a massive, dedicated fan base, sold out international venues, and topped global charts on their own terms. Paradoxically, this independent success makes them more valuable to the global market, not less. They don't come to the negotiating table as a developing artist looking for a handout. They come as a proven powerhouse, with a verifiable, monetizable global audience. Their story also speaks to a deep-seated feeling for many Filipinos and artists from underrepresented countries, the feeling of being overlooked. SB19's success is a source of immense cultural pride. As Rolling Stone noted, they have rewritten the rules for what PPop can aspire to through immersive storytelling. They've done it all while weaving their Filipino identity into their music, their visuals, and their message. They've proved you don't have to hide who you are to succeed globally. You can use it as your greatest strength. Their authenticity, guaranteed by the creative control they have with One Z Entertainment, is what sets them apart. In a world of manufactured pop, their connection with their fans is real because the music is genuinely theirs. They write it, they produce it, they live it. This authenticity is the foundation of their billion-stream empire and their fan army's loyalty. It's why a legend like Gary Valenciano calls them the headlights of OPM. They are lighting a new, authentic way forward, from the edge of disbandment to the top of the Billboard charts, from a viral dance practice to sold-out arenas across the globe. The evidence is overwhelming, and the verdict is clear. SB19 is not an emerging act. They are not a regional phenomenon. They are a certified, data-backed global force with all the receipts to prove it. They have conquered charts, mobilized a global fan base, dominated the stage, built a digital empire, and taken control of their own industry. They did it not by following the old rules, but by writing new ones, proving that Filipino talent can and will compete at the highest level. They became the answer to a question the music industry had been asking for years, and in doing so, they kicked the door wide open for everyone who will come after them. This is not the end of their story. This is just the end of the debate.